Hi everyone, happy Monday. Welcome to In Love With. And we have a very special guest today. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. I guess positive and negative because there's a lot of negativity going on in the world, and we feel at In Love very affected, and we just feel upset, and we are standing united, and we don't know what to do to help this situation. So I guess it's gonna be an interesting conversation tonight about both things. So I'm gonna welcome Anya Katsevman. She is a 2 times world salsa champion. She's an amazing dancer. She's a personal friend of mine, and I haven't seen her for a long time, so I'm really excited to welcome her here. Anya, come on, come in on board. She's coming on. Here she is. Hi, Anya.
Hi.
How are you? I'm so
Good.
excited to see you
Yeah, it's
finally.
so nice to see your beautiful face.
You too. How you been?
Good. Actually, a little busy right now because I'm organizing an online dance competition for the community, so it's been
That's
a little
awesome.
hectic. Yeah.
Excellent. That's exactly what we need at these times right now. Something positive.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of students that have been struggling with not having the goals that they're used to, so I thought it would be exactly what they need.
That's great. Well, welcome to In Love With. We're so excited to have you here with us.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm so happy to be here. I kind of feel like I'm happy to be back because we worked together a little
I
bit
know
before.
we did. We worked, and as I said before, we're good friends, so it's super fun. I'm glad to see you here.
Me
And
too.
every segment will start with a gratitude, so I'm really grateful that you are joining us, and you're going to be sharing your expertise with all our readers and followers. And I'm super excited. I'm very grateful to have you here.
Thank you. I'm really grateful to be here. I'm really grateful to have you in my life and to have someone like you put on an initiative like In Love magazine. I'm grateful for that.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot. So tell us, where did it all start with your dancing? People want to know about you. So let's start with you. Where did you start, and how did you transition then to salsa? I know
I
that your
started with
background comes
ballroom
from
dance when
ballroom.
I was 11. Yeah, my brother did it still in Ukraine. When we moved to New York, he found a way for himself to dance. And my parents, well, the way I understand it now, I think my parents just wanted us to be together. So they took me to dance whenever he went to dance. And I loved it. It was fun. I was very good at it right away. Had a great partner. I loved dressing up. I loved competing. And I really liked having something to do that wasn't like what my friends in school were doing. So that was a lot of fun for me. I remember going to school with all my self tanner and having the fancy costumes to talk about. And so it made me less than loving dance. I loved having that thing to look forward to, a competition to go to. It made me feel like I have goals that I'm striving for that are not just school related. So I really enjoyed that. It got a little bit more complicated as I got older, and you go, I basically went through puberty as a dancer, so in the public eye, and your body changes and you don't really know it anymore. So I developed a lot of insecurities. So like for a good 5, 6, 8, 10 years, it was not so pretty. I wasn't as good at it, didn't have as much luck with partners. And then eventually, in one of my breaks between partners, I started to work for a dance school in Manhattan where I discovered salsa. And I had no idea that dancing actually existed for people that don't compete. Like, I was dancing already for 15 years and had no clue that people just dance for fun. I had no clue that I knew that there was, of course, tap and jazz and ballet because girls did it in school. But I had no idea that there was a whole social dance scene. And when I discovered that it existed, I really fell in love with the idea that, oh, people dance because it's fun. They don't dance to compete. They don't dance to develop skills. They dance because it helps them connect with each other, and they do it to develop different parts of themselves. And fell in love with that. Of course, the competitive side of me still wanted to compete, and I won a whole bunch of world championships and train other people to do the same. So I feel now that I have the best of both worlds, because I get to be a dancer on the highest level and teach on the highest level, but also completely love this idea that, you know, dance is healing, and you could find meditation through it. You can find yourself through it. I even developed a method called Go Deeper, which allows people that don't dance to do very basic dance principles to help them understand their posture, eye contact, the way their bodies communicate. So body language, connection with themselves, connection with others. And, you know, so many have walked into class and said that they nailed their meetings, or, you know, got that promotion. And, you know, because performing is something that we do every day. And I didn't know that it was a skill that I had as an individual, because it's a skill I developed for my profession. So when I started to notice how it helps me as a human when I have to do human things, you know, like connect with others, or have a difficult conversation, or stand up for myself, or, you know, do anything where I need to be the boss of my own life, I kept finding myself in like performance mode. So now I try to share that with people that don't dance, and I love it.
That's great. What do you think? Do you think that everybody can dance? Or
Everybody
you have
can
to be
dance.
talented to dance?
No, well, first of all, I don't believe in talent, period. Okay, I shouldn't say it like that. I believe we are all talented. You know, I believe we all have natural abilities. I just think depending on what culture you're from and what your upbringing was like, you were either encouraged to go with your talents, or you were discouraged from knowing they exist. So I believe we are all talented, and I've tested this. You know, I've been teaching for 25 years. Believe me, I've tested this. We all have a natural ability. It's just usually our mind makes us process things with a lot more hardship than we need to. So if you can tap into that place where your head doesn't get in the way, you'll start to notice that your body can actually do things you didn't know that it could. And then you have to get out of your own way, right? By allowing your brain to let you know that you can do things even though you don't know how. So we are all talented. So I don't think we need a specific talent to get good at it, or that you need any special circumstances to take it on or excel in whatever way. Of course, we have, you know, certain qualities that are more interesting for us, and so we develop or go in that direction a little bit more. So it's, you know, perhaps okay to say I'm a little more talented in this than this, but it really just comes down to interest. You know, whatever you're passionate about, I think correlates very much with what people consider to be talent, but we all have it. We just either practiced using it, or we haven't practiced, so we don't know that we have it.
Yes, I agree with you. What are you doing? What are you up to during the quarantine with all this? I know you've been out and teaching in all different locations, and you always have students that performing all over the world. What have you been doing right now? How have you been working and living your life during this quarantine? Tell us what
It's
you have
been,
been up
yeah,
to.
it's been really hard to not have those outlets. It's been really hard to stay in the house. It's definitely a completely different life, and to not have a way to express yourself on a daily basis is, I think, as challenging as not being able to move your body on a daily basis. So what I've done for myself and for my students and followers is I try to think about that, you know, so I'm not expressing myself because, you know, there are no people around, work is scarce. You know, I'm used to having 400 people in my class on a weekend basis, and I don't have that. So what can I continue to do that allows me to express myself? So I'm doing little passion projects, you know, where I can put on a performance. I've done like a compilation video with some of my coworkers. I call up a dance friend, we go to the park, we shoot like a music video. I've done, you know, very similar to your videos that you've been posting that I love so much, right? So just
Yeah.
finding a way to express myself. I host a talk session very similar to this on my Instagram, talking about some dance topics and conversations that are usually not started, just to express myself, you know. And a lot of people compliment on it because they see it as a a leadership tool and skill. And so I just really want to voice out loud that, yes, I'm doing it for the community, but I'm also doing it because I need to express myself. So it's facilitating both avenues, and there's no shame in that, right? Like that's what perpetuated me to come up with some of those ideas, is my need to express. And then really, really important to subsidize all of the physical activity. So, you know, we're New Yorkers, we're used to walking everywhere. You know, I'm used to 10,000 steps a day is like half of my day. So in the first month, I didn't realize how much I'm not moving in comparison, because I would still do my Pilates workout. I would still, you know, teach my classes, but it's the intermediary things of you just being stationed in one place that I had to think about and say, okay, I used to walk at least 10,000 steps a day. How can I give that to myself? So I've been to every park in Queens, wherever I can get to walking distance, because, you know, I live alone and I don't have a vehicle. So I just try to walk places. I visit my friends in neighboring neighborhoods. I try to walk everywhere, and I've upped my workouts. So I do Pilates 3 times a week, and then I do some kind of strength resistance training on the days that I don't do Pilates, because, you know, again, when you're lucky, when you're fortunate, and so I want to be very clear when I say it this way, when you're fortunate, you're doing it for beautiful things like, I want to feel better, I want to look better, I, you know, want my summer body, whether it's at home or on the beach. I'm unfortunately a place in my life where if I don't do it, my body actually breaks. Right? So my body starts to hurt, my body starts to give me neurological dysfunction, so I have to maintain it. And I really want to be in a place where I'm just doing it for maintenance, but I'm saying it this way because when you don't take the steps to maintain your body, it will break. And so I know that I have to stay on top of it. So even yesterday, I had a very busy day where I didn't go outside. And, you know, today I woke up with a cold. So I really found, especially through quarantine, you know, being indoors a lot, not breathing fresh air, all of these little things we take for granted.
It's affecting us.
It's affecting us. So
yeah.
I now try to go outside in a place where I'm safe enough to not wear a mask so that I could breathe fresh air. I try to get as much sun as possible. I don't care if I get sunburned, because I can, you know, I can feel the deficiency of those things. So now when I do those things, I feel healthy. And if I don't do those things, even for one day, I get a cold.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, my body is like that, so I need to exercise. Otherwise, I start feeling really weird. So I hear you on that one. My next question to you, why is dancing the best exercise in the world?
Ooh, well, first of all, I'm so glad that you
just explain as an expert why.
Thank you for acknowledging that, because it truly is. And as an expert, not only someone that's been doing it for as long as I have, but someone that is, I'm fortunate. I've been a dancer, I've been a teacher, I've been a champion. I've taught non-dancers, I've taught dancers, I've taught people of, you know, all genres, races, ages. Like, I've really encountered a lot of different situations. And I can tell you that dance is literally the only thing that simultaneously connects your mind, your body, and your spirit with one activity for the entire hour in a way that is active, interactive, and connected. The musical aspect of it connects you to a rhythm. So we all respond well to rhythm from a neurological perspective, because our body has its internal rhythm with our lung function, our heartbeat. You know, the brain likes rhythm. And so even if you're trying to coordinate something for the first time, if you put on a metronome, you'll find that the body relaxes, and because the body relaxes, you're able to coordinate better. Or if you're at the gym, you lift heavier, or whatever your physical challenge is. So because dance is done to music, you're able to connect in a rhythmical way to give your body that deeper internal relaxation. So imagine being in a meditation, and then imagine meditating to music. And then on top of that, imagine So I'm zoned out. I'm not using my cognitive mind. I'm focused on myself internally. I'm doing it to music, so it's paced and it is beautiful, and there's a sense of connection happening. I am also moving my body at the same time. So it's this internal connection of your body to your spirit and your mind that you don't really have anywhere else. Because even if you're at the gym working out with music, that helps, but you're not learning in that way, right? You're not acquiring a new set of movement or a new set of skills, and it's not as connected. So it's a lot less interactive, right? So dance is very interactive. Whether you're just interacting with the space that you're in or with the song, you're constantly creating. And I find that for us as humans, if we are in a creative flow, we are always at our best. So there's, dance happens to be that creative physical aspect that we have access to, that we all really should utilize a lot more. And so then your body releases and processes a lot more things. So energetically, you move a lot more through your body. So it's a lot more relaxing. It helps you feel better about yourself much quicker because the result is instantaneous. So that interactive component, the mixture of the music and you having to move your body, but also be focused here, but also create art, whether it's fine art or not, doesn't really matter, right? You're creating art, you're creating something new with your body that you have not experienced before. So it is like a fail-proof way for everything in your body to be engaged with as much love as possible.
But you're also expressing yourself. I think dancing is one of the biggest expressions of your energy, in my opinion.
You are absolutely right. Yes, I can't believe I didn't say that part. So thank you for saying it for me. Yes, and then on top of it, it's the deepest form of expression because it comes from your body as opposed to, your words, which get filtered and processed. So yeah, absolutely. That the sense of expression is definitely number one. I can't believe I skipped it.
For somebody who never took a dance class and always looks at people dancing with the stars, all different people, and would like to start a journey on the dance floor or just to learn about dance, how would you recommend somebody to start, like a person that never danced before, to get into the dancing?
I think it's really important to identify for yourself why you're starting, because if you don't, it could get very confusing with the amount of options that are there. And when you're thinking about why do I want to do this, it's really good to be as honest as you can be. Because again, as humans, sometimes we want things and then we're embarrassed of that. So if you want a new social outlet, if you want to dance because you want to interact with more people, meet new people, if what you do is about expressing yourself and connecting with others, then you will look for something that's a social dance. You would look for something like a salsa or a bachata or a hustle or a swing, where you could learn some steps, but then go dancing later on at night. Or ballroom dancing is beautiful. It happens socially sometimes, but it's not as easy to find. But you would look for essentially a partner dance that has a social dance scene. If you're looking to move your body, if you're looking to coordinate new skills, if you're looking to express a specific side of you, then you would look for dance that either incorporates that music that you like, right? Whether it's lyrical, or if I really want to tone up my body, I would go to like a ballet class or, a lyrical jazz class. So you can basically find what you're looking for if you can identify what purpose is going to serve for you. There are a lot of dance meditation classes out there, like My Go Deeper or 5 Rhythms, or there's a lot of people that just do release kind of dance. So that wouldn't be like a salsa. You could still find that through salsa, but being able to identify these things for yourself, it's easier to find which class, which instructor. And if you have friends that dance, that's a really good way of asking. If you don't, but you see someone on Instagram that dances, feel free to ask them. We're all very happy to give you our expertise. Reach out to me, I will guide you. But this is normally what I find myself telling people when they ask me, why are you looking to start this? okay, here's the avenue where you can find it. But everyone can, and the intimidation aspect of it also goes away when you can identify your own personal goals. So if you look at Dancing with the Stars and you love it because it's glamorous, then you should look for ballroom dancing, and you should push yourself to compete, because that's when you get to wear all of those outfits, right? And have the glitz and the glamour. If you're looking at Dancing with the Stars and you just want to move that way with your partner, then you would look for ballroom dancing with yourself and your partner, or a partner dance with yourself and your partner. But then don't go to a group class, take a private lesson, so it stays all about you. And that's another piece of advice that I can give any beginner, is try to find a teacher before you find a school. And of course, not every teacher will have a vast variety of expertise. And if you find a social school, you can try many different dances and see which one you like. So that's also a good idea. But if you take a private lesson and you express your desires to someone that knows a little bit of what's available, they can help you narrow it down as well. So some people have anxiety, they don't like to be amongst others, and some people do. So know that you can do a private lesson, you can do a group class, you can do a combination of those two. With your private teachers, you can say, today I want to learn this, tomorrow I want to learn that, today I just want to move and not think, right? So that option should be available to you at all times, because it's your time and your money.
Let's talk about how dance boosts your confidence, because this is one of the main points, I think, for the man to go dancing, the man that never danced before and they don't know how to dance, when they, even if they go on a date or if they get married or whatever, if they're a bunch of friends. Some men are very shy about dancing. I think it boosts confidence enormously for male people, for males.
I think it boosts confidence for everybody. And the reason that it does is, again, there's so many different components, right? So if we talk about body language, when you're learning how to dance, regardless of the style, you understand form right away. You have to, right? So right away, with just the body language, your posture changes, the way you hold your head. You learn these little things that you never think about as a human. So you learn the positioning of your eyes, which actually affects the positioning of your head. You learn how to hold your frame, so then your back starts to develop muscles that you perhaps didn't have before, right? Especially if you're at a computer all day. So it puts your body completely in alignment. It coordinates you, and you're constantly challenging yourself to learn new physical skill. But physical skill that's easy enough to acquire, that the feel good part of it comes in right away. So that sense of accomplishment starts to boost your confidence on an emotional level, because you came, you didn't know this, and by the end of the hour you do. And then you practice it and it gets even better, and so on and so forth. And then the added advantage is you're always in a new sense of stress. When you're learning how to dance, there will always be a new person in the class. There's always new psychological stimulus where you can test your current skill set. So when you're constantly showing up for yourself in a positive way with these new stimuli, you're building more and more confidence, because you're achieving it, accomplishing it. Then, of course, there's the interactive component. So especially for men, you're going into an environment where all of you are sought after, because more women dance than men. So you really have, a lot more opportunity to choose, and you start to learn, again, body language in a different way. So you start to communicate with one another without words, which opens you up. You start developing a sense of comfort with other people that you didn't have before. So whatever your communication style is, none of that is important, because now you're just communicating with your body. But internally it integrates, and it just builds a lot of you relaxing, right? You have this stressful environment, you overcome it, you relax more, it builds more confidence, So it's like giving yourself a sense of accomplishment with every class. There's no way to get around it. You're gonna become a more confident person. And especially for men, you're in an environment where all the ladies are looking to dance with you, where, if you're not there, we don't have a partner. So you're facilitating that space. Men really, it's ironic that society has taught men that moving their bodies is, you know, not manly, but it's on the contrary. First of all, anybody's body in motion is very sexy, in
I
any
think that
form.
men that dance are really sexy.
Absolutely. Well, but again, people, all people are
All
sexy when
people,
they
but
dance. It
especially
just
men, when men can dance, becomes much more sexy.
absolutely, you know, the idea of moving your body with another person, it builds a different level of intimacy. So whatever reservation was there before, whatever insecurity was there before, because touching is allowed, right? Because closeness is allowed, because, you know, the body language takes you to a different space, and it's not tied into the human parts of it, right? There's no intimidation, because you're not flirting with someone necessarily. You're not there to impress them in any way. This is not, the success of the dance doesn't depend on how much you like each other. It takes the pressure off, but it eases you into those uncomfortable situations anyway. So the interactive component builds confidence more than anything else.
Let's talk about salsa dancing. It's so popular, everybody loves it, and it's like every day before the pandemic, I'm talking about. There is always salsa dancing happening everywhere. Why is it so popular and why people love it so much? As an expert, explain to those that don't dance.
Well, because it allows you to communicate with people and express yourself in a way that you don't allow yourself to do in your life, right? We all wear these hats, and regardless of what your hat is, you develop certain habits around it, you develop certain expectations around it, and certain patterns. But when you go to a dance class, that's your opportunity to have a hat you've never worn before. So you don't have your own expectation for it, and you don't have your own drama behind it, right? So you're going into a dance class. Salsa dance class involves two people always. Salsa dance class is Latin music. Latin music is very vibrant. It's very percussive. It's always active. So there's a sense of energy being brought into the experience that is not dependent on either person, right? It's like going to a restaurant in a very fancy location with very decadent food, with beautiful decor, right? It doesn't matter who you are. As soon as you walk into an environment like that, you're going to feel a certain way in it. So that's what the music component brings into salsa dancing, that it's vibrant, it's alive, it's energetic, it's sexy. All right, it has a lot of movement in it. So it gives you that energy. And you're always close to another human being, right? You're interacting, you're communicating with a language that doesn't require words. You're doing all of this in front of others, so you're being watched, which we all like, whether we can admit it or not, right? And it's all done to music, and we're all sharing that. And so that's the most powerful component, is we're all wearing our individual hat, but we're all sharing this in common with one another. So that, I think, is why it's so addictive for people, because you're in a place where everyone has the same passion, and it doesn't matter where you came from, what you do for work, what your socioeconomical status is, right? Those things that typically matter to you outside of the dance floor, nobody cares about that on the dance floor. They just care about moving with you and connecting with you and the music in that moment. And that's powerful. That's, you know, we all strive for a place of no judgment. And I think a dance floor, even though, of course, you can have your own variety of that in your own head, but for the most part, a dance floor doesn't have any of that judgment. So you're free, you're relaxed, and you're truly just there to have fun. And that's why it's so addictive for people.
Thank you, Anya. Explains it all. Before I let you go, I'm going to ask you 3 things you're in love with about dancing.
I'm in
Your
love.
most favorite 3 things about dancing.
I'm absolutely in love with the fact that it forces you to connect to yourself, to understand yourself, to feel yourself, to be yourself, to express yourself, right? You're just there with your body, experiencing the world in a completely different way, but you're forced to be in your body. You know, for the most part, we live here, but when you're dancing, you're forced to do it in the body. So you process the information differently. I love that. As someone that experiences it every day, I know the power that it has. Whether you know it or not, it has that power. So that would be my number one love. My number two love for dance would be the access to people. I feel like I've met so many incredible people, such, you know, if it wasn't for dance, you and I would not have met, right?
That's
And
so true.
so,
And became friends.
yes, and so, and I love that. I love that in dance, there's, you know, the issues that we have as people, we don't have them when we dance because we share that one love for this one thing. So you're able to communicate with people of all walks of life, with all kinds of stories of all different sizes and colors, and you know, it's just an inclusive community in that way. And I love people, so I love that it gives everyone an opportunity to interact with everyone. That's really important to me. And I love the aesthetic. I think dance is beautiful. So my third love would be the fact that it's just gorgeous, you know. Movement is just, it's breathtaking, and it's gorgeous, and it's empowering. So especially for myself at this point in my life, being a 35-year-old woman, I feel like I can walk on stage and be me and be beautiful and just value all of the things that a body has to offer, that a spirit has to offer, the expression. So I love the beauty of it. I think it's gorgeous.
That sounds amazing. Thank you so much, Anya, for all your expertise and being so passionate about all of this. I really
Oh,
appreciate you explaining to everybody about dancing. You can tell people where they can find you if they want to take classes, because I take classes from you whenever I can. I love dancing. So tell your website. We're gonna post it also, and tell where people can find you.
thank you. I appreciate that you taking your time and your platform to talk about dance. And I appreciate that you share with your followers that you do it. I think that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I love dancing. It's one of my biggest passions.
Yeah, and you're wonderful at it.
Thank you.
You can find me on social media with my name. My handle is Anya Katsevman. So anywhere on Instagram, Facebook. That is my domain for my website, but it's currently under construction. COVID plans. I will get that in order soon. But feel free to message me anywhere at Anya Katsevman, or you can always email me at anyakatsevman@gmail.com.
Well, great. Thank you, Anichka. It was really great to talk to you. Really great to see you.
Likewise.
Hope to see you soon
Thank you.
outside of
Thank
the
you.
IG.
Yes, yes, please.
Stay safe. Enjoy your
You
life,
too.
and hopefully all this will be over soon so we can get
So
together.
we can dance. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Thank you, sweetie. Good to
Thank
see
you.
you.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you got a lot of insight about dancing, because she's an amazing teacher and even more amazing dancer and performer. And if you want to find her, we're gonna post information how to find Anya. And enjoy your life, stay safe, and join us on Wednesday. We're gonna have more interesting people on board. Thank you very much, and have a great evening. Bye bye.